All right, well, welcome everyone. Thank you guys for showing up today. And everybody showed up on time. I'm loving that. That's great. So good job to all of you guys. Thank you guys for being here. For those of you I haven't actually met, there's a couple for pretty brand new, I think. And that's pretty cool. I'm Eric Moore. I'm the person who is going to be your coach for the next 2.5 years or so, as a matter of fact. And this is a big deal. This program is very cool. I'm excited to be part of it, quite frankly. And you should too. And just for those of you who don't know the whole story about what's going on. This program was actually created by one of our county supervisors. And in LA County, there are 5 supervisors. This this one particular supervisor, Miss Solis, Hilda Solis, she decided that she wanted to make a program, and this is kind of going around the country right now. So this is the one for Los Angeles County. But she wanted to have a program that would help young people like yourself to have a way to have what they call guaranteed income. And that guaranteed income is basically a way to put the money in your pocket so that you're able to do whatever you want to do with it. So like you probably know, there are no requirements or anything like that as far as what you do with your money. It's your money to use. But at the same time, that she wanted to make sure that you had someone like me that has knowledge about financial literacy and all those different types of things that are available to make sure that you guys make really good decisions. And that the money that you guys are going to be receiving, it really benefits you over the next couple, 2 or 3 years. So that's my job, is to work with you guys. So it's a pretty cool program. And you guys are the first 300 or at least there's a 300 of you, of the 300 of about 12,000. So that's what we're going to be doing. And I will be your coach. We have monthly workshops. They're always on Thursdays. Every is going to be Thursday, the first Thursday and the third Thursday of every month. We'll have workshops. The workshop is the exact same workshop every month. So we only talk about one topic. Okay, one topic per month, always on Thursday. And it'll be the first Thursday at 3 p.m., the third Thursday at 6 p.m., just like today. All right. So what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be delving more into the Dream Toolbox. Okay. And before I get started, I hope you guys, I want to make sure that you guys have done your pre-surveys. Okay. I'm going to put this into the chat box just in case you have not. I'm going to put a link in there where you can do the pre-survey. If you haven't done the pre-survey, that's important because the surveys is how the county, I let the county know that you're here today, okay? So it's very important that you do the survey and turn that in. Some of those, I sent it out earlier, so hopefully you've already received it. But if you haven't received it, go ahead and please do the pre-survey. And that pretty much tells me a little bit about what you know about what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the value of skills and goals and things like that, all right? So yeah, do the pre-survey, and then we're going to move into the post-survey after the workshop. And it's kind of, my goal is to make sure that you're growing and that you're learning and so forth. So once again, let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to be talking about, and I'll take you to the website. Let's get here. Life Prep Academy. Oh, it needed share first. All right. So for those of you who are new, this is our website. It's called the Life Prep Academy. And the Life Prep Academy is where we store all our data. It has all of our plans. It's going to be the place where we're going to visit a lot, as a matter of fact. So I definitely want you guys to be comfortable with the Life Prep Academy. And those of you that I have not yet assigned a password and a username to, that's why we have those one-on-one meetings. Hopefully you saw that in the email. So if we have not met, definitely do that so I can get you your email and your username and your password. And if I've already actually done the one-on-one with you, just send me a text or an email saying, hey, we already did our one-on-one, but I didn't get my username, okay? So let me know one way or another. But when you do get your username, what you'll do is you'll come here at the Life Prep Academy website, click on students and parents, and it'll take you to our sign-in page here. Sign-in is right here. You put your username and password in and click on sign in. It'll take you to our dashboard. Now we do also, for those of you who have not seen it yet, we do an orientation. Okay, that's the second week of the month on a Thursday, once again at 3 p.m. So next month, we'll do another orientation where you can see how to use the entire website. We're not going to go through that today, but these are the different categories. Always, as when you're using the website, the quick links is the best way to navigate the system. Okay, so you click on quick links, and that's what's behind all those buttons. It's like a table of contents. Okay, so when you go here, today we're going to be talking about what they call post-secondary options. When you ever hear post-secondary, that just means after high school. All right, and we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship. And so we'll click on entrepreneurship. And the Dream Toolbox is the actual curriculum that we use for the entrepreneurship program. So we'll click on that there. All right, and I'll take you to the beginning page. And let me just tell you a little bit about the Dream Toolbox. So And then we're going to talk about, like the last class and thing. But for those of you I have not told this story to, the Dream Toolbox is a program that was created by a friend of mine and a mentor of mine, Ken Aldrich. Ken Aldrich was a very, very successful businessman. He helped, create, or he created himself, or was, part of creating 11 different businesses. I mean, very successful businesses. And he helped a lot of people create their own businesses. Like 50 different other people found their own businesses or start their own businesses. So he was very successful. And then, he was, until a year or so ago when he passed away, he was, very involved in the business world. And he also got involved in wanting to give back to youth, to folks like you and to me. And I met him actually at a nonprofit that he had volunteered at, and he learned about what I was doing, and he took an interest in me. And that's kind of how you guys are here today. As a matter of fact, he took an interest in me, and he said, "So what are you trying to do?" And I told him I like working with youth, and I had the program, and he saw my program, and he helped me build my program. And at that time, it was a book. It was a book that we had. But over time, we got to, COVID and so forth. And over the last couple of years, Ken's interest in me got to the point where he actually invested in my nonprofit organization and me to go back to college and learn how to build websites. So the website you're looking at right now, I actually built it myself. All right. So that's always like, and I'm in my mid 50s. I probably shouldn't say that. I'm an old dude, but you guys need to understand that you never stop learning. Or I went back to college to do that. And he believed in me. So I'm one of those other people that he believed in. So he was my mentor and my really good friend. And so, it was good to have him here. And unfortunately, he left us, but he left us this. He decided that he wanted to create a book, first off, and you'll hear a little bit about that in a moment. His wife, Nadia, who just happens to be with us today, Nadia helped him create a book, and he did all the work, but she gave him the inspiration. And then she said, "Why don't you make some podcasts?" So he put his voice on recording, and he made 21 different podcasts. After that, when I told him about my wanting to go back to college and learn how to build websites, I said, "I will build my website, and I'll build a website for you too." And so that's what we did, is we took those podcasts, audio podcasts, and created 21 videos, 21 videos. And he's basically sharing his knowledge, not about how to, just build a spreadsheet and a business plan and things like that. That's you can get that from anybody. But what he wants you to know is how do entrepreneurs think? And frankly, it's not just entrepreneurs, it's how to think like an entrepreneur will help you be successful in any walk of life. That you could be a doctor and still think like an entrepreneur. You could be a surgeon, you could be a dentist or a fire person or whatever the case may be. Any profession you go into, it always helps you to think like an entrepreneur, how to create a dream, how to build your skills and those types of things like that. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Is we're going to be looking at 4 of these videos. Actually 5, I'm going to show you 5 of them, but we're going to look at some videos and then we'll have a discussion. So I want you guys to understand, this is a discussion. It's not just me talking, okay? It's not just me talking. It only works if you guys help me out, because I'm going to be asking you some questions. So be ready to come on camera and be ready to share your stories, be ready to talk to me. I even have a couple of gift cards for those of you that do that type of thing. So I shouldn't have said that, but yeah, I'll say it anyway. I actually have a gift card or 2, but I want you guys to make this interactive. Okay, but we're going to start off with something very, very special, because this actually hasn't happened before. Nadia Aldrich is Ken's wife. Okay, it was Ken's wife, and she was the inspiration behind him getting started with this Dream Toolbox. And she's here tonight, and so I wanted you to meet her, and just for her to say a few words about how this came about and tell you a little bit about herself. And so, Nadia, I'm going to turn it over to you for a few minutes. Why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about Ken and how we're able to have this wonderful gift of the Dream Toolbox here available to us.
Okay, first of all, I wanted to say hello to everybody. I loved seeing the faces I did. I'm so proud of all of you that you're even here, and that that no one else can be you, that only you can be you, and you're making something that's you bigger just by being here. And the appreciation I feel just to see you guys, because I was you guys. I was born in this country and my parents didn't speak English and I didn't speak English, and I started school and I had to observe people, and I just wanted to learn. And I met my husband by coming to him for advice. I heard he was a good man in business and I was stuck in my business, and I came to meet him because I needed ideas just kind of what you guys are doing now, just opening doors. I mean, there's a lot of doors, but you got to open them to get past them. And so he was someone I came to for that. And then, you know, the rest is history in that respect. But I never spoke English until I was almost 6 years old. But I write books now in English, and I didn't write books until I was 40. So even at 40, you can reinvent yourself. You can reinvent your life. Seeking advice is one of the best things any of us can do. Having mentors, learning from each other, because sometimes just hearing someone say something helps you get it. It just helps you get it. So meeting Ken and listening to all of his stories, how many businesses he started, how many people's lives he affected, I said, why don't you put it in a book? Not everyone in the world can just sit with you and listen all day like I do. And he thought about it. And I said, listen, I wrote books. And I broke it down because he'd keep saying, well, everyone tells me to write a book. And he was kind of excited about that, but it began and ended there. So I said to him, all you have to do is just go sit down and write 1 to 8 and put the name of the chapters there. And then walk away. Just walk away and give yourself a couple days, because now your mind is thinking, oh, I had my chapters this way, and I really want to tell it starting here, and then I want to go here. And your brain just starts doing the work for you. You're like the little activator, you know, you walk in and you say, hey, I'm interested in this. And all of a sudden you start hearing it everywhere. And you go, that's weird, I'm hearing this. And I'm thinking that was always there, but now you're hearing it. There's a reason why you're hearing it. There's a reason why you're here. Because there's always a bigger us waiting to come out. And if we let it, it will. It will come out. Because you already know so much. And then you build on that. Don't look at what's missing, look at what you have. Because you know what you kind of are interested in more than other things. You know what you tend to gravitate to. The way to know what you're really good at is ask yourself where you put your time. Because where you put your time tells your story. This was important enough for me to do, just like you're putting your time here. That's telling part of your story that, hey, I want to know this. And here's this guy who knows all this stuff. I'm going to listen to him. By the way, I would listen to Eric because I do listen to Eric. I love what you've done because we all keep reinventing ourselves. To start writing books when I was 40 and people say 40, and I'm thinking, well, now I have 3 books and now I'm 60. But I stay young in heart because I keep learning. That's the true youth. Your greatest asset is your time. It might not feel like that when you're younger. But whatever you invest in is what you get the return on investment. I know you know that. You already know so much. When you start using your knowledge, that's when you click. That's when you start walking forward. Because a lot of times we know what we should be doing, but we just don't do it. And then we feel weird when we do it. Like, oh my God, I'm listening to myself. That's weird. That feels foreign to me. But let it feel weird. Let it feel foreign until it feels normal. And then you will have gotten to that new normal. Ken would listen to everyone, anybody's ideas. And most of the time he would say, you know what, I can add this. He never told anyone what to do, but I can add this. You might want to think about this. Because ultimately, it's your choice. And there are times where you come and your idea is so well thought out, he'll look at you and go, oh my God, I have nothing to add to that. You're on the right track. And Eric was one of those people he said that to once they've gotten most of the work done. So your biggest investment in life is right there. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the names. And this is part of your investment. And investments don't come all at one time. We're not lottos. We're not like the weekly lotto. It's a process.
I think
It's every day.
Ken would be happy with his investment.
Yeah. There's different investments. You know, the investment in yourself is what brings about every other investment you make. It's what brings you money. It's what brings you the brain to know how to organize that money and how to deal with it. It's never about the money, because the money's going to come and go, but who are you in both places? That's the real money.
Right. So, Nadia, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Anything else? Any questions for Nadia? Because I know, unfortunately, she can't stay with us for the whole thing. She's going to be with us for a while, and then probably maybe join us again. But any questions?
I'll try to come back. Yeah.
Any questions for Nadia before we get started? Go ahead. If any questions? All right. If not, we're going to get started in a second. All right. Well, Nadia, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And if you guys ever have questions, I'll be back. So if it starts going in there, just let me know. I'm here.
All right. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Nadia is a person who writes books. She helps people. And I learn a lot from her every time I speak to her, I have to tell you. And she had an invaluable experience. It was really to be with Ken, you know, and so we're going to dive directly into who is Ken Aldrich, as a matter of fact. I'm going to show you one of the videos. Let me go back to the website. I'm going to show you the first video, and then we'll kind of kick everything off. And this is just an introduction to who he was, because he didn't start off, you know, some rich guy. I got to sign in again. He didn't start off some rich guy. He started off as an average person that was just trying to make it, and he became who he was. So let's go ahead and take a listen to the Dream Toolbox and find out who Ken Aldrich is here.
Welcome to the Dream Toolbox. I'll explain what that means in a minute. But first, I have an important question for you. Do you have dreams for your life that just seem always beyond your reach? If so, this podcast and the ones which will follow are very specifically for you. They are designed to open windows of economic opportunity that most people don't know even exist, and to provide a set of skill-based tools to reach those dreams of yours. What I will have to say is designed particularly for young people just starting out, but it is applicable to anyone who thinks they are condemned to a life lived in the lower levels of economic achievement because they are too young, too poor, a member of an ethnic minority, or a woman who thinks it is still a man's world. Those things just aren't so. And I hope I can demonstrate to at least some of those who hear this recording that age, poverty, gender, race, or any of a dozen other excuses people have for not living an abundant financial life are just not that important. But dreams have to be converted to reality by work, and work requires proper tools. That's why I call this the Dream Toolbox. But first of all, you need to know who the heck I am. Who is this guy who is purporting to give you ideas that might change your life? My name is Ken Aldrich, and for many years I've been a serial entrepreneur. That simply means that I've started a flock of businesses, and most of them have been successful enough so that I haven't had to work for many years except on things that I really wanted to do. I've also helped to finance a lot of other entrepreneurs trying to make their dreams come true, and I've seen some things that work and some things that don't. Those experiences have changed my life, but it took me many years and a lot of luck to figure out the things I want to share with you, And my goal now is to pay my good luck forward by saving you years of struggle if I can. I didn't start out wealthy. I started out as a 15-year-old kid working for 25 cents per hour as a car hop in a root beer stand. Worked menial jobs and boring jobs to get myself through school, and finally got a college degree and a graduate degree and went to work in a job that I then found I really didn't like. And I found myself wondering, was it all really worth it? Fortunately, I found a way to change all that and have had many years of what I can only call a wonderful life. But it took me many years of trial and error to discover that success is not about struggling to get a better job, but about building and using a set of mental tools that make fulfilling dreams easier, faster, and more certain than I would have ever dreamed. Those are the tools in the Dream Toolbox. Now, what are those tools? Well, there are lots of them, and we can't cover them all in one short discussion. But there is one tool that is central to everything. If you can change the way you look at yourself, if you can see yourself as in power, in control of your own life now, then you can make your dreams come true and actually be in control of your life. You absolutely can do just that. And in the conversations that follow this introduction, I hope to teach you the techniques to speed that process. Other techniques you'll learn on your own once you start experimenting. So I hope you'll stay tuned, follow the conversations that follow this one, and I'll go into a lot of detail and show you a lot of different tools. But first, I'm going to try to keep each conversation relatively short. So I'll close now and hope that you will follow the ones that come after this. Thank you so much.
All right, so that's Ken Aldridge. That's who we're going to be talking about today. And we're actually talking about our second session. So we're going to be starting at episode number 6 today. And that's how to build the entrepreneurial mind. Okay, and so before we get started with that, I just want to kind of do a recap of our last session. The first session was really talking about the value of building dreams and belief system and things like that. So I wanted to see, was anyone at our last class that could tell us what active visualization means and dreaming and active dreaming? Does anyone remember? Can anyone tell me that?
Yes, I remember, sir. Basically, you gotta like basically put something in front of you, like an image of something, like a house, a car, a lot of money, just anything that your dream is. You just people that's in the same field that you want to be in, or just something that's in your goal. But you want to put that in front of you. You want to visualize that every day. You want to say that to yourself every day. You want to and you want to keep all negative energy out your bubble, out your square, out your vicinity, because you'll never know, what not opportunity may come knocking at your door, and you could be acting negative towards the situation instead of looking at the situation highly and thinking about your goals. But yeah, that's what we talked about last class, though, sir.
Good job, Robert. Good job, man. That's exactly what we talked about. I appreciate that. And you are my recipient of my first gift card today, because I love that. That's what I'm talking about. You guys were there. You understood what I'm talking about. You understood what he was saying. And I want you guys to contribute to this. This is about me. Okay. I want you guys to understand it's not about me. It's not about Nadia's. It's about you guys. So I want you guys to contribute to this, because that's what makes the class, really cool. So Robert, send me an email about that. Also, believing in yourself. That was the other thing that we talked about. Can anyone tell me why it's so important in having that belief system? Can anyone come on camera, or just come off mute and tell me, why is that belief system so important?
I feel like can I speak?
Yeah, please go ahead, Mama.
Okay. I feel like if you don't have faith in yourself or belief, your vision is gonna go, it's not gonna work. Like sometimes I'd be having disbelief in myself, but I tell myself to keep going, because I'm never gonna know the actual outcome until it comes. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Send me a text, Lemaya. So those are 2 examples. Those are our first 2 recipients today. All right. We're not gonna I just want you to know I can't give out a gift card to everybody, but I just wanted you guys to see why I give out the gift card, because it's so important for you guys to contribute to the conversation. All right. So now don't everybody expect one. You probably will get one over time, but don't expect one today. But I just wanted that's how we're going to get started with it. And we're going to roll into the entrepreneurial mind. I want you guys to understand that number 1, you got to believe in yourself. You have to see your dream. It has to be there in front of you. And just like we're saying, if you're not the one that believes in yourself, like we talked about last time, man, they're going to be people that will rain on your parade. They won't believe what you believe. and I know we talked about this, some of us talked about, have you ever had, I asked a question, have you ever had someone that loves you? I'm not talking about somebody's trying to do you harm, but somebody that loves you that, you know, just doesn't feel your dream, and they give you negative, you know, input, and they're, I don't know if you could do that, or girl, you'll never make that happen. Or, man, what are you talking about? You can't do it. And you'll have that all throughout your life, okay? But what you need to do is develop that entrepreneurial mind. You have to develop that mindset that says, no, I know exactly what I can do. I know that I have the skills. I know I'm going to create a goal. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. All right. So we're going to launch directly into the entrepreneurial mind. Right before I get started, I just want to ask, are there any quick questions? Quick questions. I want to get started. Any quick questions before we get started? Anyone? Just go ahead and yell it out if you have. All right, cool. All right, let's go ahead and get started then. The entrepreneurial mind, very important here. How to think like an entrepreneur.
We've been talking about dreaming. If your dream has anything to do with financial success, you need to learn something about what I call the entrepreneurial mind. There's a very famous statement made by the writer F. Scott Fitzgerald that goes like this: let me tell you about the very rich. They are different from you and me. Well, Fitzgerald was both right and wrong. The rich are very different from most people, not because they have more money, but because if they have made their own wealth and not just inherited it, they have a way of looking at life that is simply different from most people of the world. And that makes all the difference. I call that way of looking at it the entrepreneurial mind. And it is an enormously powerful tool that is the difference between those who rise to the top 20% or even the top 1% of the economy and those who wonder why they haven't. It is also something that anyone can learn and develop if they really want to. The best way I can illustrate the process of change from conventional thinking to the entrepreneurial mind is a very personal example. As a young man, I used to have a fantasy that one morning I would wake up rich and never have to work again. Then, one New Year's morning, as I read the morning newspaper, I realized something. I didn't have to work that year or any other year, ever. Nor would I ever have to lower my standard of living or change my lifestyle. An even greater realization came later, and that's what I want to share. I didn't get to financial and personal freedom because I started out rich, or was smarter, or had a better education, or won the lottery or the Las Vegas jackpot. What really happened was that over time, using some of the techniques we have already discussed, I was lucky enough to realize that the power to change my life was within me and not depending on anyone else's rules. Your definition of success can be anything from wanting to create a highly successful company to wanting to cure cancer. But if you can't wake up every morning wanting to achieve that goal and loving even the tedious things that you have to do to get there, then just get a job, put in your 40 hours a week and hope the pension they promised you will actually be there. For some, that's enough. For me, it would have been slow death. But most of us are programmed from a very early age to believe that a lot of things are just impossible for us, that we're too poor, too uneducated, from the wrong ethnic group, or have the wrong skin color to succeed. Those negative belief systems can destroy your dreams. I could tell you story after story, all true, with friends of mine who have started with nothing but a belief in themselves and achieved incredible success. One was an orphan in a war-torn foreign country who came to this country with no money, without speaking English. Another was a young man who had to flee Iran after the revolution at the risk of being put to death by revolutionaries, and arrived in New York with little more than the clothes on his back. Another was a woman whose mother was murdered and she herself was raped and the business destroyed. Yet each of these people are now extremely happy and successful. The reason? They each believe that they have the power to create their own success, no matter what happened to them from the outside. And they did just that. How does one do that? You replace every negative thought that tells you why you can't succeed with one that says, why not? I can do it. It takes time and it takes practice. And there are many resources, books, courses, mentors that can help you get there. But the key to it all is to believe and to act as if you were already the success you intend to be, and make that the overwhelming priority of your life.
All right. So who thinks differently? That's something I like to talk about. Who thinks differently that you guys already know, as a matter of fact? You know, I have a few examples. You guys know that one guy named, like Zuckerman, that Zuckerman guy. Okay. He created Facebook, Apple computers back in the day. That was in '84. There was Steve Jobs and his partner that created, that. But let's move it to today. How about like folks like Rihanna? Rihanna was a singer, okay? Rihanna is a billionaire. I don't know if you guys know that, all right? And Rihanna became a billionaire not from her singing. Rihanna thought like an entrepreneur. She knew she had a brand. She had created the Rihanna brand, all right? Kim Kardashian, she created the Kim Kardashian brand. Now she has, I think it's called Spanx or something like that, or whatever her clothing line is. Rihanna has Fenty. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre went from being a rapper to a billionaire because he created a headphones company called Beats and then sold that company to Apple and immediately became a billionaire. I'm gonna stop there. Who else? Who are some people that think out the box that you guys know? Can you tell me some names of some people that are young people like that that think out the box? And I can give you an example. All these YouTube stars. Man, we never can.
I was about to say Kai.
There you go. Okay,
I
tell me.
got one. I got one.
Who else? Tell me. I don't even know this guy. Tell me about him. I don't even know.
Me or the other guy?
Yeah, either go ahead. You did you and
Well,
then
one of the guys I was thinking about is this African American individual. It's a little outside the box, but I never seen it done so proficiently. It's his name is Desto Dub, and he creates tobacco leaf wraps. And right now, it's predominantly an era where I see a lot of people use cannabis, and he's selling it at the all-time high. Hold on. He's selling it at the all-time high, and it's actually getting sold out more than the other brands that's been around for a couple years now. And I just, I just think that people are supporting him because they see something different. They see us on there, so it's like, okay, this is cool to us. And I think that's kind of big because he's making a lot of a killing off of that right now. Like that's like going into alcohol, like 50 Cent or something. So I
yeah,
kind of like that idea.
exactly. No, thinking out the box. Like you said, we have some people like, Diddy, who has a vodka line.
Yeah.
I mean, that's thinking out the box. Who else was that said something? I want to make sure you had a chance to say something. Who else was want to say something? Go ahead.
Oh no, it was just me, sir. Again, Robert. But I was just saying that it was Kai. He was an entrepreneur from doing just TikToks. You feel me? Just bringing. He basically like featured people on his show. Just to bring publicity towards his show. And just also added his audience towards his. You feel me? Towards the situation too. So it was like But again, that's not even what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, you feel me? Like basically. Also market your stuff, you feel me, at a higher, like basically what he's saying, like, you feel me, basically the reason why that brand is winning is because they didn't market their brand at $2-3, you feel me, they went all out, like, okay, I know I got a brand that's gonna sell, so you feel me, let me market it at $10 instead of $2-3 because I know my competition and where my competition at, and I know what my product hold. So if you know your worth and you know your product worth, then just sell out. Don't limit yourself. Don't be like, oh, I'm just a small business, this, that, and the third. That's how they booming, So just keep that in mind, y'all.
Absolutely. Who else has something to say? Anybody else?
Aristotle Investments, he's on Instagram and he started off stock trading.
Okay.
He was in the Navy and then he was a barber in the Navy. He saved up all his money that he made barbering. And when he got out at 22, he invested everything in stocks. And now he's a millionaire.
Okay. So you go. He saw the opportunities out there, man. There are so many opportunities for you guys. You guys are so young, and I shouldn't say that. You guys are young and at an age where technology, man, there's people creating millionaires, becoming millionaires. And let me say this too, because this is important. I had someone say to me, Eric, why are you trying to teach people to be capitalists and millionaires? That's greedy. They should be, and I just want to make sure you guys understand something. Okay. I'm not telling you to go out and just become a millionaire for no reason. All right. That's not what I'm talking about. And if you're not the kind of person that believes in capitalism, that's perfectly cool. That's not a bad thing. Some people think money is bad. Money is not bad. It's what people do with money sometimes is bad, or the people who are using the money is bad. Okay. Money is a beautiful thing because it allows you to have all kind of options. Money helps me take care of my people, my family. Money helps me take care of my kids and my dogs and my cars and all the different things. Money helps me to have the ability to be here with you today. You see what I'm saying? So money's not bad. I want to make sure people understand that. It's how people use money in some cases that could be bad. But if you have that as the way of thinking, I'm feeling. As a matter of fact, if anyone's on, if anyone feels that way, speak up now. Let's talk. We'll talk about it. And I don't have a problem with it, but I don't think money's bad. I think it's how people use money. So being an entrepreneur, you have all kind of business, ability to help other people. And I like that. I like having the option of being able to help other people. And I have the option of taking care of my family and of growing a business that will go on after I'm gone and things like that. That's really exciting to me. So you guys, once again, thinking like an entrepreneur, it's how you take it. It's a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you feel it. But I know that you guys are here for a reason. And the thing is, it's skills. The main thing I want you guys to learn from today is how important building skills are, because skills are literally what people get paid for. That's where you really get paid, is if you have skills. And, I won't even stop. I'm going to stop there as a matter of fact. Before I go on, any quick questions before we go on? Any quick questions? And then we're going to look at the next video, and then we'll come back and discuss how important skills are. Okay, cool. All right, so let's take a listen to developing skills and using skills as tools for your life.
Welcome back to the toolbox. We've talked about broad-based tools like belief systems and active imagining. Now let's start getting more specific. No one would think of building a house without tools and materials, hammers, nails, lumber, etc. So what tools do you need for financial success? Over a lifetime, there may be many, but if you start with these two, all the rest can be mastered as needed. So what are they? Number one, master the English language and learn how to use it to persuade others and to meet your needs. Let me get personal for a moment. I have started 10 successful companies in biotech, medical devices, finance, and other fields. Did I have skills in those fields? No. I never had a math course beyond high school algebra, never had a science course at all, and didn't study accounting until my second year of law school. What I did study was how to use language to persuade, excite, and explain my dreams to others and get them to support them. I found scientists who would develop the products. I found financial experts to fund my companies. And I found accountants and lawyers to guide us through the process. If you truly understand the power of language, English in particular, and other languages if you can learn anything else you need to know or find someone who already knows what you need to help you. But if you don't know why me and him went to the store is bad grammar, or if you think the language of some ethnic group is cool and you use it in business, I can just about guarantee you will fail. So learn to use language properly and use it as the powerful tool it is. With a command of language, skill in public and private speaking and writing, and the understanding of how money works as a tool and not as an end in itself, there is no reason to fail. Number two, learn from those who are already successful. You don't have to reinvent every skill. You can instead find someone who is already successful and learn from him or her just by observing, or if you have the chance, by asking questions. Tony Robbins, the motivational speaker who built his early fame by convincing people they could walk on a bed of coals, did not just build a fire one day and try walking on it. Instead, he found someone who actually did it, asked how they did it, and then put that knowledge to work to begin building his fortune. Similarly, Warren Buffett, the most successful investor of all time, learned from his mentor, Ben Graham, how to find undervalued stocks. Then he improved on that technique and became one of the richest men in the world. There are hundreds of other skills and techniques you can learn. But it all starts with realizing that everything you learn in school, on the job, or just living life can help be a tool to achieve success. Learning some of those skills can sometimes be hard work, but who cares? Once you realize that the skills are tools to your success, the work can become pleasure because it has a purpose to make your life better. We'll talk more about converting skills into investment assets in the next vlog and those beyond. Thank you.
I'm going to move this back here. I want you to see this face here. Who are these people here?
Reskill, you can and learn from him or her just by observing the people they could.
So, do you know, can any of you tell me who these people are? Do you guys know these people at all? Okay, all right. So this man on the left, his name is Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, about 30 years or so ago, he was a young man who was very curious. He always wondered, why are successful people successful, all right? So he made a fortune off of interviewing successful people and then teaching everyone in the world, I mean, all over the world, how successful people became successful. Okay, think about that. His skill was interviewing people and learning from them and then taking that knowledge and then turning their knowledge. I mean, he wasn't talking about what he had done. He taught people what other people have done. And so that's his skill. That's Tony Robbins on the left that he was talking about. This guy here in the middle, this is one of the wealthiest men in the world right here. His name is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, I heard someone talking about buying stocks. I think that was you, Delilah, talking about someone buying stocks and so forth. This guy here is the best stock buyer in the entire world right now and has been for the last 20 years. Look him up. His name is Warren Buffett. He runs a company called Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway. If you want to check it out, check it out. But his company is so powerful now that they only invest in the best stocks and, I mean, major companies. But he learned everything he learned from this guy here. That was his mentor, okay? So the point of that whole thing is find a mentor. Find a mentor that can help you, just like he was saying. You don't have to reinvent the wheel trying to figure out. If you want to build a hair care business, I heard a young lady say, I want to build a beauty product and a hair care business. Well, cool. You need to be going out and finding the most successful person doing that right now and talking to them. Have them become your mentor. They may even show you how to get started and where you buy your products. No matter what it is you're doing, having a mentor will save you an enormous amount of time. Okay, that's just one of the main things I wanted to say here. So let me go ahead and take this down. But let me talk to you about another question I have for you. What is so he talked about having language and using the power of language. Who can tell me what code switching is? Can anyone explain to me what it means to code switch?
Yeah, code switching is like, say like I'm out to in a business professional area, it's a certain way like to come about yourself, not like, I wouldn't say like ghetto, but like, you know, you gotta be more like presentable, like, you know, than with how you would be at a party, sort of.
Right, exactly. Who else can give me a definition of what code switching means? Tell me, come on up, just start speaking. Oh, you might be on mute.
It's just like how she said.
Yeah.
It's like you have to know when to turn stuff on and off. How
Right.
she said, like ghetto and classy. That's basically what she was saying. Like turn off the ghetto and turn on the classy. When you get in those type of environments, you got to know how to adapt to environments.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Lacey? How you doing? What do you think?
It also applies to like age groups as well. Like I work in a salon and I have a lot of elderly people that come in. And if I use like our type of language, like in the younger groups, they don't understand me a lot of the time. But if I just talk like just more, I don't know, like how I would to like my grandma or something, then they understand me more.
Right, absolutely. How about you, Delilah? You had something to say?
Yeah, I would just say it's changing the way you speak depending on your environment. So changing your tonality.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna give you guys an example of code switching here. And it's kind of funny. This is my personal story. So I was dating this young lady many years ago. And I was invited to come speak at a workshop. At that time I was in the banking industry. So I was kind of going to a workshop and I knew I had to be professional and look professional. And so I was going to do a small part, but they asked me to say a few words and I was cool. So it was out in San Francisco and I invited her to come with me. And we went there, we checked into our hotel and I'm in the, you know, getting out the shower and changing, putting on my suit and everything, putting my tie on and so forth. And she had never seen me in a business environment. All right. And so I'm just being cool and I'm rehearsing in the mirror and so forth, not paying any attention to her. And I said, okay, you ready to roll? She's ready to roll. So we going downstairs and I do my thing, come back up, think I had a great night, but I could see there was something wrong with her. Okay. And I'm like, what's up? What's going on? And she said, you changed. I said, what do you mean I changed? She said, you changed. As soon as you got down in front of all those people, you became a whole different person. I said, yeah, of course I did. Because I mean, this is work. I'm not going to talk to them like I talk to you. But she was offended by it, y'all. I mean, we broke up, not too long after that, as a matter of fact, because she thought that I was being fake and doing, hey, code switching is when you adapt to your environment, okay? If I'm in an environment with business people, I'm gonna speak like a business person. If I'm talking to y'all, I'm gonna talk to y'all. When I'm talking to my brother, I use as much slang and I cuss and I do all the things I do, but I would never do that in a business environment. Never do that in a business environment. I talked to some class I was talking about working with one time, and I asked, all right, so if you're in a business environment and you are speaking, how would you speak this way? I said, okay, now let's change it. So you all of a sudden you get a chance to meet Snoop and Dre, all right? And you're going to talk to them about an idea that you have. You want to tell them about, when you come and you talk to Snoop and Dre, you say, what's up, Dre? How you doing, man? Is that how you walk in? Anybody? Tell me. Come on up. Is that how you walk in?
Nope.
Exactly. These people are billionaires, okay? These are sharp business. They become businessmen. They ain't in the rap game, and they haven't given you permission. Feel me, y'all? They have not given you permission. I don't say feel me, y'all, when I'm talking in a business environment, okay? All right? But feel me, okay? I want you guys to understand this. You come and even you're talking to someone you think maybe a hip hop rap star or something like that, he's still a businessman. Until that person gives you the okay, you walk in and you say, hey, Mr. Dre, it's good to meet you, sir, man. And you shake his hand, you don't give him pound and dapping. No, if you're in a business environment, you act like you're in a business environment and you have to switch. That's the switch. And that switch is a good thing. And if you understand how to do that, man, your life will be a whole lot different. And like Lacey was saying, it's talking about, working with older people. There's this thing called mirroring, okay? It's called mirroring. And it's important that you do it the right way. And this is how it goes. If I'm talking to an older person and they talk slowly, then I speak slower. If I talk to a person that is speaking fast and they're just moving, then I speed up my tone. Because if that person's speaking fast and I'm coming slow and drawn and so forth, they're like, hey man, get up, hey, let's move with it. But you mirror the person that you're working with, and it makes them feel comfortable. And you're not being fake or anything like that. You're just kind of mirroring who that person is that you're dealing with. And in a business environment, it works very, very well. Okay, so think about that. Keep that in mind that when you're talking to people in the business environment, yes, you do change a little bit, but you're changing only because that's the best way to relate to them and to make them feel comfortable with you, because the whole point of communicating with them is to get your point across. And if you come across as someone that they say like, hey man, why are you speaking so fast? Or why are you speaking so slow? Then you run a risk of not being able to convey what you're trying to say to that person. So keep that in mind. Number one, code switch. Yes, if you're in a professional environment, you speak like a business person. If you're with your friend, you speak the way you speak with your friends. And you always make sure that you mirror that person. Don't be hyper if that person is sitting back. If that person's sitting back in a chair and you're hyper and sitting up and waving your hand, no, that's not how you do it. You mirror the person that you're dealing with, and that is a skill that you're going to be using, okay? That's one of the skills that you'll be using, because skills are assets. That's the main thing. Let's see, what else did I want to say about that? Okay, my assets, real quick, my assets. Let's just tell you a little bit about myself. I used to sing back in the day. I did music, I do parties, I do DJing and so forth. I've been in front of people. It's natural. That's a natural skill that I learned that I have. That's why it's so comfortable for me to be here with you guys today. I've been in front of a crowd of 800 people, or actually probably more than that, and I'm perfectly comfortable with that. You have to find out what your skills are that you are comfortable with, and then you tap into those skills and you use those all throughout your life, okay? So enough for me. Anyone want to make a comment? Does this make sense to you guys? If you want to comment, go ahead. If not, we're going to go on to the next video. Anyone want to say anything or have any questions about this part? Okay, cool. All right. So skills as assets, and that's the main thing. The nice thing is that throughout your life, you're going to be building skills all throughout your life. And they once you build them, you use those skills to your as an asset to help you do whatever it is that you want to do to your benefit. So here, let's go ahead and take a look at skills as assets, investment assets.
Welcome back. Let's talk about skills as investment assets. Consider these facts. No wealthy person I know depends on a paycheck to live the life they live. They own assets, stocks, real estate, businesses that work for them while they sleep or play. 2, a quality investment can last a lifetime and beyond. A job is only as good as yesterday's paycheck. Most of the world's wealthy, particularly in the United States, did not start out with a lot of investment assets. They first developed skills that had value and then converted those skills into assets. That is key. Every one of the young billionaires you see in the news every day got that way by trading his or her skills for ownership in a company they created or helped to create. Let me share a personal example of how these factors can work. Early in my career, I developed some skills in the area of finance. As a result, I got a job with a promising company in the real estate business. One day, I was offered a chance, along with other executives and junior executives of the company, to purchase an interest in a real estate project being developed by the company I worked for in conjunction with a major insurance company. I really didn't have enough money to be able to make the investment comfortably. It involved foregoing some things I would have preferred to do with what little money I had. But I studied the investment until I understood it well. I was pretty sure I was right. And when I learned that the CEO and the president of the company I was working for were also investing their own money, I decided to take the risk. For several years, I got nothing back on my money while the project was being completed. Then something wonderful happened. One of the 2 apartment developments that had made up half of the total investment project was sold, and my share was over 30 times what I had invested. The other half that was not sold has been providing me annual income for the last 35 years that is 4 times my original investment each and every year. Now, you could say I was just lucky, but consider these things. I would never have had the opportunity if I had not developed skills that put me in position to be offered a share in the project. 2, I was willing to use some of the very limited amount of money that I had to take a calculated risk on something that might move me up the economic pyramid. Notice that I did not take a Las Vegas type risk. I wasn't gambling. There was ample evidence from the actions of the more senior executives and of my own research that this was probably a good investment. It was not a sure thing, nothing is, but the ratio of risk to reward was in my favor. 3, what I didn't know then, but have learned later, is that this kind of opportunity happens far more often than most people realize. I even made an investment a few years ago that returned 100 times my original capital. It was not without risk, but I had developed over time the ability and confidence to think that by using wisely the skills and capital I had a much better chance of winning than losing, and the profits from my winnings would far outweigh any losses on my mistakes. That is the simple formula for wealth. Above all, it started with my developing skills that other people wanted and needed, not just having a job. In fact, the skills that led to that investment were developed through 4 different jobs that I held until I learned all that I thought I could from them. Then I moved on, added more skills. Skills are assets and are worth more and are many times more secure than any job you will ever have.
All right, so what do you guys think? I've asked Kim this question. What do you think is the biggest skill or the most important skill as an entrepreneur? What do you think he told me? Can anyone just tell me what do you think is the biggest and most important skill as an entrepreneur?
Probably
Patience.
communication.
Okay, patience. I
My
heard
fault,
that.
my fault, bro.
No worries.
No, you good, man.
All right, you. So, okay, patience from Gianni. Who else?
No, I said communication. He said patience.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Okay. How about you, Jen? Who else?
Listening.
Wow, you hit it. Who's that? Don't have you on camera. Who's that?
Jorge.
Good. My man Jorge. All right. I think you might have cheated, Jorge. He was here last time. But that's okay. No, Jorge hit it on the nail, man. That's it. Listening. He told me, he said, Eric, you don't know how many times that I've been in a situation where I just happened to be in the room or in a conversation with someone, and I heard about an opportunity. He said, listening is the biggest deal. And I'll give you a perfect personal example about my particular life. Years ago, my wife learned, while listening to a conversation for executives, she said, she came home and she told me, I heard that they're going to be, there's a certain part of area, and I won't tell you exactly, but she said there's a certain part of area in LA that is really hot. If you buy in this particular area, then your equity will go up quicker than if you buy in other areas. And we were thinking about buying, okay? And so actually, I'll tell you, I don't have a problem telling you. We wanted to move in a certain area, and we're thinking about, should we go to Baldwin Hills or Ladera Heights? And that's over in the Culver City area. And should we go there or whatever? And someone told her, no, if you buy in a certain area, like this area where I'm talking about, the values of the house rise quicker. And man, we listened to it, we did our research, we thought about it, and when we did make our investment, we did buy in that area. And they were right. They were right. I have to say, honestly, my house has doubled in value in the last 17 years, okay? But you have to be listening for opportunities. I've listened to opportunities about when to start a business. And the second one, who can tell me what the second one was? I think it might have been said. Did someone say communication? I don't know if you did. There you go, Delilah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, two of you guys did that. Being able to listen for opportunities and to be able to then communicate. Those are the two skills that Ken told me are the most important skills, okay? So what other kind of skills? Tell me what other kind of skills are important in business, someone.
I feel like comprehension. You got to understand.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Confidence.
Confidence. Oh man, yes, confidence. That was the whole topic of the last workshop last month, is believing, believing in yourself and having that belief to the point where it's rock solid. Because like I said, people will tell you, man, this ain't gonna work. What are you talking about? You've never done this before. Frankly, you'll tell yourself that. This thing called negative self-talk. I hope you guys have heard about that. That's when you tell yourself, man, I don't know if I could do this. Maybe I need to stop and think about this before I go do it. But and see, the self-talk could be good because, like he was saying, sometimes you have to define, is this a calculated risk or not? So the self-talk can be good, but if you let it get to the point where your negative self-talk talks you out of doing things, who's ever done that? I'm raising my hand because that's me. All right, it's human. All right. So if you've done that, hey, it's normal, but you have to figure out how you're going to get past that. And the way you can get past that is by what he's talking about, that calculated risk. So tell me, somebody, what does he mean by calculated risk? What's define calculated risk for me? Someone.
It's like having an educated guess. You feel me? You gotta know. You gotta be precise about what you're doing and how you moving and who you doing it with. Because you don't never know what's gonna go wrong, and just be calculated with your movement. Don't never like second guess it, but don't second guess it. You know what I mean? Just like it's just like what Nike said. Just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. How about you, Delilah? I saw your hand up too. What's up?
I would say it's a well thought out decision.
Yes. Can anyone define due diligence for me? Can you tell me what that is? Delilah, can you tell me what that is?
The right thing to do.
Okay. Due diligence is when you do all the research necessary before you make a decision. All right. Look that word up, due diligence, D-U-E and diligence. I won't even spell it. But that's when you do all the things you need to do before you make a decision, especially in business. So if you're going to say you wanted to buy a car, you would check that car out. You would check the car out. You say, is it good mileage? Does it have, a good reputation? Is it, a car that people like? You would do your due diligence, you do your research, you do all the searching and finding and so forth before you make the investment. And that's what due diligence really means, that you're going to do all it takes to understand and to learn and to comprehend, like my man Gio was saying, to comprehend that whole thing. Is this really a good decision for me to make? Now, that's not going to guarantee that you're going to make it right, honestly. But as he was talking about weighing it out, the balance of risk to reward, that's what he's talking about, is doing all the risk and doing all the the research it takes to make sure that you have the lowest risk possible. That's what due diligence means, okay? So yes, calculated risk, due diligence, and then the main thing is that you need to have a little skill and a little luck. If you have that, if you do your research, you do your due diligence, you have some skill, and then you add a little bit of luck, because luck, a lot of times that's part of what happens, quite honestly. You know, frankly, I was very lucky that I met Ken at one of my workshops, you know, and then down the road, he was able to invest in me. So that was luck that I met him. But when I met him, I was ready for it. You feel me? I hope you all understand that. When that opportunity came, I was ready for that opportunity. And there's a whole lot of people that are just waiting for the opportunity, but they're not ready for that opportunity yet. So you have to be ready to jump on it when that opportunity comes, okay? Anyone else want to say anything before we go forward? But yeah, that's major important. As a matter of fact, I probably should play this for you 2 times, but I won't. But go back and watch this one again. Well, that's another thing. Let me say this. Ken said that one thing he always told me is that what you fill your mind with on a daily basis is really going to drive you. If you're interested in being successful, are you doing things right now in order to help you become successful? And one of the things that you can do that's real easy to help you become successful is watching videos like this, reading books from people that are successful in the field that you want, but fill your mind with positive stuff that's going to help you move towards it. And once again, stay away from those negative people. All right. So anyone else want to say anything before we move on?
Just outweighing the pros and cons.
Yes, exactly. Yes, outweighing the pros and cons, exactly. Because that's exactly it. And every venture that you do and everything that you do, you know, there's going to be pros and cons, you know, on everything. And weighing that and looking at, so, okay, if I do this, okay, yeah, this will be the good things that will happen about it. But if I do that, then this could happen at the same time. So weigh it out. And if it sounds more on the pro, then take a shot at it, man, and go after it. Anyone else can say it. You know, anyone else before we go on? Anyone else want to throw something out there? All right, cool. All right. So now we're going to be talking about converting those dreams to goals. Now, this is the big one, okay, you guys, because as Ken told me on many times, man, you could have the best dream in the world and be thinking about, you know, how I'm going to make this happen and all those types of things. But if you can't convert that dream into a goal, then you're going to be, number one, miserable, because you're wondering, why haven't I got there? Why am I not, you know, moving in the right direction? And then number two is that if you're doing it and you don't convert it for your dream to a goal, then man, you're missing out. You're missing out. So I want you guys to understand how important that is. So we're going to watch this one, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about how important it is converting your dream into an actual goal and how to do that. We're going to talk about how to do that too.
There is a profound truth in the saying, if you don't have a dream, how are you going to have a dream come true? But it sometimes needs to be changed to this. If you don't have a goal, how are you going to achieve it? The difference is profound. A dream is something that floats in the air of fantasy and is always in the future, a bit out of reach. A goal can be seen, can be measured, and progress toward it can be charted. And when you reach a goal, there is a chance to celebrate what you have accomplished as being something important. Equally important, having clear and preferably big and audacious goals is the only way one can measure achievement. Think about the first manned space flight to the moon. That was a big, audacious goal, particularly when you recall that the US started that program before we had ever flown in space, and the whole mission was accomplished using computers that were not as powerful as the smartphone in your pocket. The other remarkable thing about that achievement, and it is true of every successful entrepreneurial venture I know, is that most of the time the moon rocket was off course. Minute course corrections and adjustments were constantly being made. But those corrections would have been impossible without a very clear goal. Unfortunately, the goals in our entrepreneurial dreams are not always that clear, but they need to be. Otherwise, you will never know if you're off course or not. One of the drills that every entrepreneur should do, and very few actually do, is to spend a ridiculous amount of time developing a very short and simple description of what the goal of the business he or she is creating should be. I'm not talking about those lofty and vague mission statements that the textbooks or entrepreneurship books often tell you to write. If you can't describe in 1 or 2 sentences what your business is designed to do, you probably haven't given it enough thought. Think about the statement, the ultimate driving machine. No one with any exposure to TV or radio advertising will fail to recognize that as the tagline for a BMW auto product. But it is also one of the finest descriptions of a business goal I have ever heard. A million things have to come together actually to build that automobile. But by asking, will this help create the ultimate driving machine? You can ask a question that will test every decision that is made. Is what we are doing getting us closer or farther away from that goal? That kind of clarity has real power. I'm not arguing that BMW has achieved their goal, but could anyone in that company possibly not know what the goal is? If you can articulate what your business is designed to achieve that clearly, even if it takes a few more words, you will be well on your way to achieving that goal. So remember, it all starts with clear goals. Without them, you will never know if you've succeeded or failed.
So Ken has a famous question that he always asks, and I'll ask you guys this question, and I want you to think about this. What kind of goal would you set if you knew that you could not fail? All right. If you knew that you could not fail, what would you do? What kind of goal would you set? Okay, and I don't want you to answer that right now, but just think about that. And that's how he said, that's how he became successful. Sometimes, I mean, he knew that there were risks, but he says, man, what if I went into everything I did, I went into everything I did trying to make sure that I was trying to reach a certain goal and thinking that I was not going to fail and believing I was not going to fail. Lacey, I see your message, and if you have to take off, yes, that's cool. Don't worry, no worries, okay? Yeah, but you need
Okay,
to.
thank you. Have a good week.
You're welcome. Take care. Yeah, but you guys need to think like that. What would I do if I didn't, there was no risk of my failing? What would you really do? And to build your goal that big, because maybe if you shoot for the moon, like I said, you may not get to the moon, but you'll get close to that. You want to go that high. And also, what are you doing on a daily basis to get you toward your goal? Now, that's one of the main things he also talked about is a lot of people have goals, and a lot of people, set them smartly and so forth, but they don't actually take the steps. They don't understand that whole thing about having a short-term goal and a mid-term goal and a long-term goal. So at this point, I want you guys to think about is that we're going to actually talk about how to build your goals. There's a technique that's called SMART goals, and I don't know if you had actually heard about that, but we're going to talk about that. But before we get started, I just want to know, what kind of goals do you guys have? Does anyone is comfortable now to talk about what their goal is? Anyone come on camera? Come on. Go ahead, Robert.
Basically, you already know. Basically, I look at Eric as my mentor because he had when we had our one-on-one, I had told him my goals. I just had a lot in mind. Like I want to start a lot of businesses and help a lot of people, and he had told me like I need to channel basically one goal and say like if one goal don't, or say if none of my businesses work, or just if I had like an escape plan or just a plan to make things work, so I wouldn't be taking bigger risks, to make my goals work. So again, it's just like I had to like make another pivot, make remove myself from certain situations to develop my true self and develop my goals. So it's just like, again, it's just like taking a mathematical step and really understanding your goal and really understanding how you're gonna get there. So it's just like, yeah, that's I really understand what that means though. Like that helped me. I feel like that really helped everybody in the group though.
And see, the thing is, man, you got to understand that a lot of you guys have a lot of different goals, and that's cool. I've talked to some people say, I want to have 4 businesses. Well, that's cool, but you can't operate 4 businesses at the same time. You really have to channel, what am I good at? Where can I put my skills that are going to get me the best result? You see what I'm saying? You don't want to have, you're doing part-time 3 or 4 different things. And that's what Robert and I talked about, is how to really think about it, refine your goal to the point where you really think about it. What is going to be the best thing for me to do right now, and then taking steps to get to my longer term goal? Okay. Who else? Is anyone else comfortable telling me what their goals?
What's the
One of my
question?
goals, for to end this year is to get my first motorcycle and get my motorcycle license if I can accomplish that.
Okay. Is that you, Japal?
No, that's safe.
Oh, okay. All right. Safe. Okay. What's up, man? Okay, cool. Yeah. How about you, Uma? Hey, what's up, Uma? How you doing?
I was gonna say one of my short temporary goals is to get my first car before my 21st birthday, which is in May.
Okay. All right. So you've probably been taking steps like putting cash away and doing different things like that. Or if you're going to purchase a car, from a dealer, you may want to be working on how to get your credit. But those are steps that you take in order to get to where you go, right?
Yeah.
How about you, Uma?
Yeah, right. My credit,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lamai. Okay. Well, how about I thought I saw Uma's hand up. Uma, did you have something you want to say? No? Okay.
I'm good. No, I'm good.
Okay. How about anybody else? Anyone else want to share what their goal is with us? And I will tell you this, one of the best ways for you to achieve your goal is to share your goal with other people. That's really one of the, it's very cool thing. As a matter of fact, when you share your goal with other people, something automatically happens. All of a sudden you realize, man, I got to do this. And also have someone, okay, okay, that's cool. I'll have you go. But yeah, when you share your goal with someone else, it will actually put you, it'll force you because people will follow up with it. Now, I'll tell you now, but it's work, guys. You share your goal with me, you know I'm your coach. I'm going to follow up with you. Matter of fact, we're going to talk every quarter about your goals. But tell me, what's going on, Uma? Tell me.
I would say to go to school for the first time, college.
Okay, very cool. All right. And we're going to work on that. Like I said, we're going to work on that. We're putting together a plan. That's why I have you guys putting together your plans. And for those of you who haven't gotten started on that, please, please, please get started on your plans on the website. And we'll talk about that again. If you don't know what I'm talking about, call me or text me. Let's get together for a one-on-one again. But yes, I need you guys to put together your plan because that tells me how I'm going to be able to help you. And it tells me how we can set your goals. All right. What's up, Delina?
Oh,
Delina, and then you're next, whoever that is.
So my goal is to become a real estate agent. And last month on the 22nd, I finally took my exam and I passed.
Hey!
So I am now a real estate agent. So
congratulations.
Thank
congrats.
you. Thank you. So currently I'm looking for a brokerage to work with and interview with them. So we'll see.
I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. Man, good job, Delina. Who else?
And then that's what I was going to say too, sir. That nonprofit organization that we were talking about, I had finally got the approval. I just got to put in who going to work with me and just put in the last documents and everything.
Oh, okay. Now who's this talking?
This Robert.
Oh, Robert again. Okay, cool, man. Good job.
Good then again, my goal is to start 5 businesses to be a good straight life. Again, I didn't really say what I wanted to do, and then that's the pivot that's going to really help me.
Right. There you go, man. Good job. Good job. How about you, Isli? I see you came up. What's up?
Yeah, I'm at work right now, but my goals are to start my business. I have been talking to vendors about starting my hair business, and I do have an appointment next month on the 7th. So that's one thing. And I want to quit my job so I could, use that business to fund my living expenses, basically. So
I got you. Good
that's
job.
my goal. And I feel like it's going pretty good. So
there you go. Now, once again, what Ken was saying, good job, Isli. What Ken was saying also is weigh that risk. Now, I'll tell you, being an entrepreneur is cool, but there are risks, man. The check is not there all the time. Trust me, I've been through that all my life, you guys. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18, 19 years. Actually, before that, I told my story. But man, weigh the risk out. Sometimes I would say having a part-time something while you're doing your business. That's a cool thing to do because having a paycheck coming in. I'll tell you honestly, in my family, my wife is the one who, she's not an entrepreneur. She has that 9-to-5 job, all right? And so we know our bills are paid and likely my business is doing well, but at the time when it wasn't, she had the consistency. I had the check where, man, I could make $1 million or a bunch of money, but I knew that our bills were still paid because I had the consistency going. So my risk was lower because we knew that our bills were paid. But I always want you guys to think about that. Running a business is hard work. There can be ups and downs. It's a beautiful thing, the independence and everything is cool. But I also want you to make sure that you're stable, okay? Stabilize yourself by having a floor, having a part-time job or something you do on the weekends. Man, there was a point where I did all kind of different things part-time in order for me to be able to do my business, all right, and keep my dream going. So that's extremely important. So let's talk about, anyone else want to talk before we go? Because we're going to talk about SMART goals now, okay? And hopefully you guys have heard of that. Anyone else? Okay, cool. So can anyone tell me what SMART goals are? Does anyone know what those are? Have you heard that other than my man Jorge who was here last week? Anyone can tell me about that? Go ahead and just come off of mute and tell me what does SMART goals mean? All right, cool, no worries. I'm gonna tell you what it is then. SMART goals, we'll talk about it right now. So SMART is actually an acronym. Oops, what did they do? What happened here? Let me, hold on a second. Let me get that right website. I got the wrong site on here. Hold on. Where'd it go? There it is. SMART goals, mind tools. Hold on a second. Here. All right, SMART goals. SMART goals is an acronym, S-M-A-R-T, and it's a way of developing goals that will help you create very realistic goals. So what does it mean? SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So I'm going to put this into the chat box, you guys, all right? So this is the link to this website that we're talking about right now. Go back and check this out later on. SMART goals is a way that you can create your goals so that you know that you have a better chance of actually achieving your goal. So what do I mean by that? Specific. Let's take a look at it. Specific. So exactly what you want to accomplish. The main thing that you want to do with SMART goals and creating these SMART goals and creating any kind of goal is to be very, very clear, to be extremely clear of what it is that you want to accomplish. Why is it important to you? Actually, I say why is it important to you is probably even more important than what you want to accomplish. Quite honest. Why is this important to you? You know, I wanted to create my nonprofit organization that I now working with you guys because I wanted to help my own kids at first. And so now it's become a business, but I was just really helping my kids. And then afterward, I said, man, I can help other people. And I started doing this as a business. But the goal was that I wanted to help my own kids. And knowing why you're going to do your business is critical for you. All right. Because if you don't have a true why, and if you can't define what your why is, it's real easy to walk away from it. All right, quite honestly, it's real easy. You're like, oh, well, this really ain't that important to me after all. And you'll walk away with it. So you have to define why you want to do this thing. And then you define what exactly it is that you want to accomplish, but you need to be very specific. Write it out, write it out, write a paragraph and make sure you go back and change it and so forth. Look at it like Nadi was saying earlier. You write some things out and then walk away from it for a few days and come back and look at it again and say, okay, yeah, that is, okay. All right, this is exactly what I want to accomplish. All right. Then the second one is it measurable? So what that means is, can you tell when you've actually achieved your goal? That's a lot of things. Some people get started with the goal and they don't really know when they'll know if they've actually achieved it. So you need to know, like, it's a measurement stick. When will I know? How many do I have to sell? How much do I have to earn? How much, how will I know that I've actually accomplished my goal? And that's the end part, is measuring it. You just can't have a good goal. You have to be able to measure, am I actually moving forward? Because that's how you go from your short term, your midterm, and your long term. I literally have daily goals. I have daily goals, I have monthly goals, I have yearly goals. Then I have my long-term goals. But the only way that I can get to the longer term goals is if I know that I'm actually hitting the benchmarks of, yes, okay, this week I got this done. Okay, next week, okay, this month I got that done. But you have to know how can I know that I'm actually moving in the right direction? So measuring your goal is very, very important. Is it achievable? And what they mean by that is, man, are you trying to do something that may or may not be realistic? All right. Is it something that you can really do? For me to say that I want to climb Mount Everest right now, I'm way too old for that. All right. My heart may be in it, but my body's not in it. Okay. So that's not an achievable goal to me. Do I want to be a multi-billionaire? Hey, that's achievable goal if I work hard enough. Do I just want to have a business that's enough for me to take care of my family and have a nice life? And like Ken said, to have the money to work when I want to, and to give back when I want to, and to volunteer and to work with folks like you. That's an achievable goal to me. So make sure that when you're creating your goal, it's not something that's so far-fetched that, man, I don't know how. Make it an achievable goal, and that will be a better way because it's more realistic for you. And then that R, is it relevant? And I change relevant to realistic sometimes, okay? Is it something that you really believe? Is it, is it something that's really going to make a difference? Is it really worthwhile to do it? Is it something not only to you, is it going to help people? Is it going to just take care of your family? Is this the right time? Is this the relevant thing for you to do? And it's a very realistic thing. You want to do this because, once again, if you don't do it this way, then it's very easy for you to walk away from your goals. All right. But you want to make sure that it's relevant and it makes sense, and that, this is something that people need. One of the folks, and I'm not sure who it was in the class, said that they wanted to be to be working the cosmetics and the beauty industry. And they wanted to have a hair, working hair and those different types of things. And I was speaking with them, and she said, yeah, I just happen to cut hair, and I actually can style wigs and things like that. And I was like, wow, you can style this? Yeah, I style wigs and I do coloring and all kind of different things. And I just happened to know from my wife, and I asked my wife about this. She's told me that, cutting and doing wigs and styling, that type of things is a major industry right now. I mean, a major industry. And you see how much hair I got. I don't know nothing about wigs, but she told me about that. And I said, really? I'll go back and let her know that. But right now that's relevant. You see what I'm saying? That's the main thing. There's a lot of women that are wearing these wigs, and for her to have a skill to do something like that, she could turn that skill into cash. And it's a relevant thing. So in her case, she wants to learn how to do that, how to style them, how to do all kind of different things, and to work with that. What's up, Isley? Did you want to say something?
Yes. About the wigs and stuff, that's what I do.
Yes, I think it was
and
you. Yes, I believe
yeah, it was. So basically, that's why I was like debating. Like, I've been working like with this job for a couple months, and like you said, like I know a lot of people. Like I have a really big following on social media, so it's a lot of people that have been waiting for me to like start my business and doing all that stuff. So it's like now I'm at a standpoint to where I either choose this job or I just start my business. And then when you were talking about, making the right decisions, I feel like that's where I'm at this moment, just making sure that I make the right decision. So at this moment, I'm like checking everything off the list. Like, okay, I have this, I have that, I have the customers, I have the following, I have the, advertisement, the ads, the money, all that stuff. So yeah.
Good job.
I guess I'm just, I don't know, in a standstill.
Hey, you're here, right here. Is this the right time? That's what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Okay. And it sounds like it may be. It sounds like it may be, Isley. Hey, and frankly, the thing is, you need to understand, and we'll talk about this down the road, is this thing Ken talked about, the fear of failure. Hey man, try it. Damn it, try it. Try it, put it out there. You can always go back and get another job if you want to. That's
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But try it. And with the passion that you have for it, and I remember talking to you. I talked to my wife about you.
For real?
I did, okay. And she said, you tell her, I need to call her myself, okay? All right. So hey, no, seriously.
Okay.
That's what I want you guys on. So thank you, Isley. Thank you for saying that. You sent me a text too. You're my third friend.
I got you.
Okay? But
you can also just put like 5 days, in your business, and then like the 2 extra days just work if you feel like you're still kind of iffy about it. But I feel like you can put more time into your business and then work part-time.
You go.
Yeah. Because like at this moment, I'm like a manager for AT&T. So at Target. So it's like everything is on me. And I'm like fixing phones, helping people and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Well, hey, good luck to you. I'm with you. We're going to talk about this. We're going to get this going.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Okay.
I need you to make it happen. All right.
Yes. Thank you.
So what is T? What does time bound mean? Time bound means that, so when is your goal? When do you know that you've reached it? How long are you going to wait for it? So I'm going to tell you about my goals. Okay. My goals are for you guys. Okay. My goal, this is my business. When you think about it, I'm here talking to you guys, but this is my business. The county has hired me and given me a contract for 3 years to work with you guys. So what are my goals specifically? And I have to tell you about time bound at the end. So my specific goal is that I want to make sure that you guys are, and I have checkoff goals, that you're using the money wisely that you're going to be getting, that you're investing in your education, whether that means going back to high school, going to get a certificate at college, going to get your degree or whatever it is, but you're investing in education and not just going to school. I'm talking about skills. Okay, that's my second goal for you guys. My other goal is that you guys, if you don't have a bank account, that you open a bank account, and I'm going to help you do that. Also, are you in the workforce now? Are you working? And if you're not working, how can I get you guys to the point where you're working over the course of the next 2 years? And lastly, are you learning valuable information? And I think about that. The specific goals, those are based on what the county is grading me on. So my goal is for you guys to be successful. That's my specific goal. My measurable goal, how do I do that? How do I measure that? Through the surveys that we're doing. Matter of fact, by the way, if you guys have not done the survey, I want to make sure that you guys do all the surveys. There is a survey that I'm about to put it into the chat box again, but I need you to do the pre and post survey. Very important. That's how you get credit for being here today. So if you haven't done that, go back and do the pre-survey, and you've already seen the workshop now, but do the pre-survey and saying, when I started, man, this is pretty much on the scale of 1 to 10 how I felt. And then after workshop, you do the post-survey and you say, this is how I feel now. But if you haven't done the survey, I just put that back into the chat again. But that's how I measure myself. Are you guys learning? I do quarterly check-ins with you guys. Like I said, so what we'll do is we'll do these monthly workshops, but then we'll have our one-on-one sessions where I can check in with you so I can measure. Are you learning? Are you comfortable? Do you still need my help? How can I refer you to somebody? That's how I measure those goals. Is it achievable? Yeah, I know that the work I do by teaching you financial literacy and all those different things, you're going to have a successful life because you have the knowledge. So, and also we're helping you create a plan. So we're creating an achievable goal by helping you do very specific steps. Is it realistic? Yes, I know with coaching, with my help, you guys are going to be rock stars. Man, I'm telling you, you guys are going to be the ones that are going to come back and be my success stories when I have the next class 3 years from now. And I'm going to be having you guys come back to talk to them. So yeah, is it realistic? Yeah, it's very realistic because I know I'm a good coach and you guys are sharp. So with that, hey, I know I'm going to be successful and it's very realistic. So what is the time frame that we have? We have until June of 2025, you guys. So we got 2 years almost, okay, a little bit more than 2 years. That's our time frame. And that's what we're talking about here, time bound. When do we want this to happen? What can I do today? What can I do 6 months from now? What can I do 6 weeks from now in order to help me move towards that goal? All right. So that's what SMART goals are, is having it. Once again, we'll look at them. What is it? What is all the names are here? What does it mean? Go back up to the top. SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So when you're creating your goals, please think this way. And I use a tool. Some people like to write it out just on paper. I'll show you this website here. There's all kind of templates you can use and things like that. So they're free. You can download. There's all kind of charts that you can download. I like this one here at the bottom. I use something like this myself. A goal sheet. I write my goal out. What are the steps I need to take? What is the target date that I want to do it? I'll put this one into the chat box too. So if you want to go and download one of these templates, you can download some templates and stuff like that. But it's just tools to help you keep track of your goal. And once again, SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. But this is a good way for you to kind of keep track of what your goals are, and are you taking the steps to get there? And you may say, my first step is this. What is the date I'm going to do that by? My second step is this. What is the date I'm going to do that by? Okay. Just like Isley was talking about, hey, she knows the steps that she wants to do. She's got her following. She's got her program. She got her product ready. Man, if you do this, I'm telling you, these are some things that I work with people in their 50s. They still don't get, folks. All right. It's honest. I'm just being honest with you. I work with a lot of people that don't get this, but if you understand about SMART goals and using templates and things like that to help you get to where you want to be, you will be extremely successful, and I will be extremely happy about that. All right. So my goal, my big goal, I'll just tell you what my goal is. Right now, there are 300 of you guys. All right. I want to have about 10 employees that are working with 300 of you guys. All right. I want 30,000 or 3,000 people out there that are going through the same kind of training. And my goals are taking the first steps. My first step is that I have to get through working with you guys, do well. I have to show the county that this is working. This is working and that this is helping you guys. That's why those surveys are so important, that they are learning and that, hey, I can't wait to tell them that Isley's, about to start her business. I can't wait to tell them Delilah's she got a real estate license. Okay, I can't wait to tell them that, things like that, because they want to know, what are your successes, Eric? What are the steps you're taking to move towards ultimately being able to say this was a successful program? All right. So let's see here. What else do I want to talk about? Actually, that's it for what I wanted to show you guys. So let me stop sharing for just a moment. All right. First off, before I go on, what do you guys think about this? Does it make sense to you guys? Any comments about what we're talking about? Anyone else want to add anything before we, because we're just about done, as a matter of fact. Any questions or anything anyone wants to say or add about this? What's up, Japal? I thought I saw you coming off. If you want to, cool, come on. All right. No?
I don't know. I just think that's a good idea for sure. I'm in the process right now. I really just want to schedule a one-on-one with my goals because I think I got some stuff lined up, but I just need like an oversight opinion to see if I'm going in the right direction with some stuff I got listed down. So it was some personal type of thing, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, just like I put in the email, schedule a time with me. You guys could do that anytime. And, I would love to talk to you and we'll work it through. I'm like I said, I'm here to bounce ideas off of and give advice, give you referrals, anything you guys need. So yes, set up some time with me, Matt, and we'll talk about that. Okay. So just a few things. Anyone else have anything you want to say? All right, cool. So just the last three, four things I wanted to talk to you about. Number one, the assignment. And I say assignment jokingly because there are no assignments. Okay. This is your assignment for you. Go through and write out your SMART goals. All right. So when we meet for our one-on-one sessions, I would love for you to tell me, here's my goal, and walk it through it. Walk me through it, and then be able to show me this is specific, it's measurable, achievable. Show that whole thing and write your SMART goals out, because that's what I want to know. My job is to help you achieve your goals. Okay. And if you have not started your plan on the website, please get started on that. Like I said, that helps me a whole lot because that tells me how I can help you guys. All right. So yeah, a couple quick things that I always want to talk about to any people that want to be entrepreneurs is, number one, how important it is to be on time. You guys were on time. I love it. You guys were on time. 90% or 95% of you guys were here. Actually, some of you guys were here. I had somebody, I think, is my man Chris still on the line? Yeah, Chris was here like at 5:30. Right.
Mr. Eric.
What's up, Demai?
Okay, my phone is finna die. Am I able to join the class back, or is the class gonna be over?
We're gonna stop in probably about 10 minutes unless we have a bunch of questions, but if you want to go off and come back, you can.
Okay, all right.
So we're gonna be done about 10, 15 minutes at the max.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna leave because my phone is on 2%.
Okay, cool. No worries.
All right.
So yeah, like my man Chris was here really early. And you don't have to be that early, Chris. 30 minutes early, that's way too early. 5-10 minutes, I love that. That's perfectly cool. Imani was here early too, and then she left and she came back. Hey, Imani, I didn't even get. I don't think we've met yet, but Imani, please schedule your time with me so we can get together and do our one-on-one. Okay. And yeah, so the being on time is very important. This is another big thing. And just like Ken was talking about communicating and code switching and things like that. Texting, okay? Texts are not emails. All right. I want to make sure you guys understand that. There's a big difference. And I have a lot of professionals I work with that tell me, yeah, some of the kids, they send me a text and it's like 3 rows of lines, just line after line after line. And that's not what an email should look like. An email there's a format. It says, hi, Eric, comma, you space down a couple times. And you didn't type your message. I was just wanting to let you know, whatever. And then you type it, you don't have a, like a 3-line long sentence or anything like that, okay? But professional writing is going to be very important. How you communicate, that's going to be important. How you speak and how you write is very, very important. So I want to make sure you understand how important the email composition is. It's a completely different thing from a text, all right? So once we meet, or if you need more on that, you just talk to me and we'll talk about it. Because honestly, I'll tell you, a lot of the emails I get from people are just line after line after line. And it's one long string of line. No break in there, no hi, Eric, comma, nothing, okay? No, thank you, comma, Eric, talk to you soon, whatever your name is, okay? And I just laugh, but I'm not gonna laugh with you because you guys know if you wanna do business, you gotta be able to communicate in a professional way, all right? So texts are not emails. Send your text and that's cool. Even an email that says it came from my iPhone, everybody loves to do that. They sent from my iPhone or whatever, and so they just put whatever they want in there, okay? No, if you're gonna send an email, make it look professional so the person will take you seriously. That's the main thing I want you to know about that. If you're running late, we have an appointment. I always talk about this. If you are running late or you're gonna be at the meeting late or something like that, send me a quick text. that looks so good to employers or to business people. You know, I had a guy come and do my floors not too long ago to put new wood floors in my house. And, you know, he called me, he says, hey man, I'm on the freeway, but there's an accident down, so I'm probably gonna be about 10, 20 minutes later. I sent him a text back, man, that's all I wanted to hear from you. Thank you, man. Thanks for letting me know. But if you're doing business, you got to let people know. Don't ever not show up. Don't ever not call. You know, make sure that you text and let them know if you're running late, if you can't make it or something like that. And people will understand. I mean, people are busy. They understand, you know, the realities. But it's very important that you do that, you know, to let them know how important they are and how professional you are. Another thing is a business email address. Okay, so I see a bunch of really cute emails out there sometimes, and I laugh at some of the emails that are out there, but I need you to understand that if you're going to do business, have a professional email address. You want to have your name in the email address. You know, it could be eric.moore or mine, I have one that's EL.Moore, but I want to make sure that every time I send out an email, someone, if they look at that email, they know who I am. You know, I had a good friend of mine that was a chef, and this is a funny story. He was in his 60s, all right, young, probably just turned 60, 61. And he'd been a reputable chef. He, you know, world renowned, and people know who he was. He cooked for the president and all these different things. And he decided, I'm sick of working for this company. I'm going to change my companies. And he's sending out resumes with his email address. And it was a funny one. It was called Chef Daddy. That's what his nickname was. He was the Chef Daddy. Okay. I'm like, man, what are you doing? Man, you're 60 years old. Come on now. You know, and he's like, you right. Okay. So he got him Dale, you know, whatever. But you want to have your name in your email so people can track it. And if something gets lost, you know, people will know, oh, that's this person, okay? So it's very important to have a business email and keep your fun one. That's the one you use with your family and your friends. That's fine, that's perfectly fine. But when you're doing business, communicate right and also have your email being right. Same thing about social media. People check you out nowadays about your social media. So I just let you know that if you are doing business and if you want to appeal to everybody, you know, I may be a liberal Democrat, but I don't talk about that on anything, you know, because I still want to make money from Republicans too, right? So I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about religion. I don't talk about those types of things because I could risk turning someone off. So you want to make sure that your social media and so forth, the social media projects the appearance that you really want people to see, the real you, or at least the business you. Okay, so if you have your social media and it has a bunch of personal things and you're worrying that people might go and see that, you want to take that off because you want to have as professional social media as possible. All right. So that's the last thing. So I would love for you guys, like I said, to do that SMART goals and then tell me, what do you think about that? Is that helpful? You know, did it help you create your goals and things like that? So, you know, that's part of we'll talk about when we get together, excuse me, on our one-on-ones. But that's really it for the day. I mean, has this been helpful? Why don't you guys come off and, you know, tell me, what did you learn? What was the main thing that you learned today, or what was the one thing that was valuable for you? Can anyone tell me that? Come on, somebody. All right, you know I'm calling somebody. All right.
I like when Nadia was here and she gave her speech or whatnot. But I wrote down like one of her quotes. She said, "Let it feel weird, let it feel foreign until it becomes normal." And I like that because oftentimes when you're in a different environment, you feel weird, you feel foreign. But the thing is to get used to it so we can expand who we are. And so I wrote that down because I'm gonna hang it up somewhere.
Thank you for being with us. I appreciate you being here. And hey, I'm proud of you. Good job.
Thank you.
I think we learned how to finesse, not finesse, but the government, how to really talk and use the right proper tools in order to get advanced in this world. And a lot of that stuff is like gems within the business, you know what I'm saying? So anything that involves talking or setting goals or how to adapt to room, how to convert to people energy, like different business people are going to be different. So it's how you come across to sell yourself in your business. I think all those key points are really what it's already been going on, but not everybody knows. So I'm really big on those things. I kind of take everything in, but it's a lot to summarize in one sentence. But yeah.
Good. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right. Going once, going twice. Shall I call on Nicole? Nicole, I haven't called on you.
I want to go. I'm sorry. I was washing my hands.
Okay. What's up, Chris?
I wanted to say I'm currently in school. We're doing a business mod. One of the things that we had to like really go over was demographics. So like know your demographic, know who your clientele is.
Mhm. Yep, exactly. Extremely important. Get to know who you're trying to sell to. You know, that's no, that you hit it on that one, Crystal. That is really important. As a matter of fact, you know, I'll give you a perfect example. So my business, I really started working with parents. And so I had to figure out who am I going to sell my product to? I mean, I can give it to you guys, but who am I going to sell it to? And so I had to do some demographics things. And it just so happens that my demographic of the people that I can sell the most to are women aged 35 to 55 that happen to live in California and also are college graduates, all right? Or have taken some college or are college graduates. Why? Because they want to see their kids. First off, women, for the most part at least, are the primary caregivers of the kids, and they want to make sure their kids are going to go to college. And if they've been through college, they know that things have changed over the years. So, you know, you do that kind of research. So you hit it, Crystal. You're absolutely right. The demographics is very, very important. Who are you going to sell to? Who's that perfect person that you can sell to that is the right person for whatever it is that you're going to be, you know, dealing with and working with? So excellent, you know, comment, Crystal. I really appreciate that too. Yeah. Anybody else want to say anything? Oh man, Chris, you want to say anything? Tyler, you're brand new too. You guys are new. I'm not picking on you. If you want to say something cool, if not, no worries. But I just want to give you guys a chance. If you like to hit your mute button once again and come on off and say something if you like to say something. If not,
I did want to ask how you collected your data for your demographics.
By thinking, frankly, I didn't even have to do a lot of collecting. I just had to sit and think, who are the primary caregivers of high school and 18 to 25-year-olds? I serve 14 to 25-year-olds. Who are the primary caregivers? Well, that was easy. Women are far more involved with their children's education than men are. Okay, so that was step one. But then how old would that, you know, that perfect person be? It would be someone probably, you know, if you're 35 or 40, you may have a teenager, you know, so that's how I kind of did. I just kind of thought about it logically. Who would have a high school age child? So there's probably somebody, a woman by the age, you know, 35, maybe 40, up to 55, you know, their students will be in high school. You know, I want them in California. That was an easy one. You know, do I want college educated people? Or do I want people who have no college education or no education at all? Well, depending on what kind of product I'm selling, college educated people buy certain types of things. Less educated people buy certain types of things. As a matter of fact, you guys have probably seen on when they're talking about politics, they actually measure, you know, like they said that Obama and, you know, people like that, they're very popular with college educated, Black, white, and all colored people. So, you know, other people that are doing something in a, you know, smaller area, they may be, you know, something that, you know, the people that are less educated or they, you know, flock to that kind of person. But knowing who it is that you're trying to appeal to and to sell to and that type of things is critical. That's absolutely critical. So thank you once again. Process of elimination too. Yes, exactly. Delilah said that. There's a thing called A/B testing. So when I send out my marketing materials to people, I can try one way of saying it, and then I'll try another way of saying it and see which one of them gives me the best response. That's called A/B testing. I'll send it about, does type A work the best on this demographic of people? Oh, okay, well, I didn't get the response I was expecting. Okay, well, let me try this one. Let me say it a different way. And I send it out that way, and that's the A/B testing. So there's all kind of different techniques that you guys can use to make you more successful, and that's all playing off that whole concept of demographics in it too. So thank you once again, Chris. Anybody else want to say anything? Has this been good? Give a thumbs up, a clap, or something? This is good information? You with this? Okay, good, good. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. So unless anyone else, anything else to say, we're done for the evening. Like I said, I thank you guys for being here. And hey, you know, we got even more. We have even more coming. This is just the beginning. So we're
You
gonna
have a good one too. You have a good one too. All right.
Thank you. Yep. Have a great one, you guys.
Thank you, Eric. Have a good night.
You have a great night. Okay. Take care, you guys. We'll see you soon.
Au revoir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Thank you.